Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Cosmic Tarot, and this is going to be a collective reading or a general reading. Ooh, I got something flying out already. Oh, you have the Nine of Discs or Pentacles in reverse. So I guess there could be a theme collective of us trying to overcome codependency or feeling tied to a situation here, or not feeling like we are in complete control in a situation regarding our material, finances, stability, resources, things like that. You could be trying to make some plans around something here that will increase your financial situations. So let's keep going. Tower in reverse here. So you're definitely, I feel like you've been in a situation recently here with this tower in reverse where you perhaps feel like you avoided some type of really bad event, or maybe possibly felt like there was something that was not very positive coming towards you here. Let's keep going here. On the Magician. Yeah. So I see you are in a manifestation energy here. You're very creative. You're trying to put together all your experiences from the past and build something more foundational is what I'm hearing. Like you, okay, I'm getting a better picture now. So it seems like something in the past failed or crumbled, but it was something that needed to go. It was something that was not conducive to like what your higher self wants you to do, or what you're really being called here to do on this, planet or whatever. And I feel like you are now starting to align yourself with the forces of the universe here. You see like all the planets and stuff around her. And I feel like you are starting to come into and accept like you have a higher calling, you have a destiny here. And I feel like if you are watching this video, this isn't like by happenstance. This is something that is being channeled directly for you to listen to. So pay attention, please. Yeah, and here we go, the Nine of Discs again. Yeah, so definitely, like again, this is definitely in the current. You are overcoming this sensation of codependency. It doesn't necessarily mean like in a relationship, although it could be. But to me, it feels more like tied to like a job or a career that doesn't serve you. And like in the past, it seemed like this seemed like a really good opportunity, and maybe you got this job because it was a bounce back from something that was not very positive or happy or to your liking. And at the time, excuse me, I just find it very interesting. Like when we're going through like these really hard moments, it seems like in that time, like this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I know why this is happening to me. When we can look back years later and we can say, wow, I'm so glad that terrible thing happened to me, because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have been in this position that I'm in now. I would have learned, I wouldn't have grown so much. And I feel like you're starting to see how like the negative and the positive aren't really either one of those things, because it seems like that job that seems so well for you now or back then that saved you from that really bad job is starting to become something that is maybe not the healthiest for you. You could be in a relationship that is not the best. And I feel like the way that this Nine of Pentacles is looking at the Magician, I feel like you are realizing that like with the thing that built you up, it has an expiration date as well. Like that job has an expiration date as well. As much as you love it, it's not your end all be all. That's just a stepping stone. And we can't get bogged down or tied down to the stepping stones thinking that it is the end all be all. Even if it's a relationship. Let's say you were in a really abusive relationship with someone and you got out of that. And I hope no one's in an abusive relationship. If you are, please find a safe way to exit out of that. Maybe you were in something like that and you had to, maybe not had to, but maybe because of this codependency here, I'm not trying to call anyone out, Maybe you were someone who felt like you needed to be in relationships with people for like your own security and stability. Maybe you live in a place where there's not a lot of, access or resources for people or certain types of people, We still live in a world that is still very, toxic masculinity type, whatever. And I think sometimes it's not always so easy for certain groups of people to make it ahead. So sometimes finding and finding people who can take care of you is like almost the best thing. And some people have been taught to do that. And I'm not trying to get on off topic here, but maybe you went from a different relationship and it was good at that time, but now it's starting to feel like you're trapped. And I think that is what you're trying to break through. I'm just trying to give you all different scenarios to help this relate to those, because I know there's going to be people who have different things going on. So, you got to be a little abstract, kind of. Oh, I was just thinking about the devil. Yeah, the devil right here. You're definitely feeling tied to something here. There's some type of soul tie you feel. There's something here that is enticing. It could even feel intoxicating. Maybe you get a lot of... your ego is tied into this position. If it's a job, your ego is associated with it. If it is a relationship, it's a toxic relationship where this person holds something over you. This person could be paying for your vices, or this person is someone who, was very cajoling and charming at first, and now they are showing a little more manipulative side of them. Maybe you have been a little manipulative lately, or maybe you have to use manipulation and find a way to get out of the situation. I feel like there is definitely a fear here from you or this other person, you or your job, you or whatever situation you're going through. There is a sense of fear, and the ego is feeling trapped. It's feeling stuck, and it has to create some type of escape. Yeah, and the King of Swords in reverse here. There is a fear of making a wrong decision and ending up kind of like back at the start, I feel like, with this King of Swords energy. Now, this could be someone here. This could be this person who is showing up as the devil, or you, depending on how you want to look at the situation. But there is a very... I don't want to say cold, but there is someone here. The King of Swords is someone who is kind of like a grumpy old man. This is someone who is... they should be wise, and in some regards they are, but they could be very like cold and mean-spirited, and they can just say some really hurtful, hateful things, and they may even be very like, mentally manipulative and do a lot of mind games with people here. So you could be in a relationship with someone who is playing mind games with you, or someone who you feel like is going to play mind games with you. And I feel like you're trying to find a way to get out of this situation. Like, anyone who's watching this video, if you're experiencing something like this and you need help, just always remember, like, you can always ask the universe for guidance and assistance. And the universe always knows, like, what your true heart desires. Even sometimes we may not feel like we know what we want. I feel like you need to ask the universe to kind of help step in and point you in the right direction, because I feel like the collective, including myself, I feel like we're a little lost. We feel a little left behind. It's almost like we need some type of guidance, some overt, like the universe is always sending me signals and signs, but I'm not always the best at interpreting those because of my own ego, my own fears, and me wanting to, narrate my own life. So sometimes I'm like, I just need you to spell it out for me, because I'm not always the brightest. I need you to just go ahead and, like, if the universe could just come down and say, hey, I want you to do this. This is what you need to do this, this, this. The breadcrumbing is cute and all, but sometimes it's not clicking. So let's dig in a little deeper and see what's happening and what has happened and what we think may happen. So underneath the tower here, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. So I definitely feel like in the past, you were definitely closed-minded individual, or someone around you was very closed-minded, and they had a hard time, seeing the bigger picture here. You may have had a very keyhole view of the universe and the world, and you may have, thought you had your whole life planned out, and I don't think anything that you have planned has worked. And that's okay, because what you had planned is probably so small compared to what the universe wants to give you. So let's say, oh, I want to be the best teacher in the world. That was me. The universe may be like, why do you just want to be a teacher? You can be a professor. You could be a world-renowned author, whoever the universe needs you to be. I feel like we've put a limited belief on ourselves, and the universe had to come in and like, nope, you're bigger than this, you're better than this, you're meant to do more than this, don't make yourself so small. Like, we have a way of shrinking ourselves, and I think it's just because I think the people watching this video, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you probably feel very afraid of your true raw power, like myself. I feel like we all have this fear of what our true potential is, not because we are like scared of rising to the occasion. I think sometimes we don't want to outshine other people, and we don't want to feel like we are stepping on other people, and like, you don't want to become that egotistical, psychotic, narcissistic boss that everyone hates. And as much as it's like, oh, I don't want to do that, I feel like I made a little too preachy now, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You have a very limited belief, or you've had a very limited belief. Yeah. And then in the past, you've also felt like there's been a lot of injustices against you. Like, there's been a lot underneath the magician here too. The universe, you may have felt very wronged by the universe. Very like, why was I born into like this type of family? Why do I have this relationship issues? Why is it so hard for me to become this career path that I've wanted since I was 5? And it's just been like hurdles after hurdles after hurdles. But with the magician upright, you've knocked every one of those hurdles down. I mean, you've gotten over those hurdles. You don't want to knock the hurdles down. But you've jumped over those hurdles, and you've done it successfully. You've been able to like put yourself in a better position, in a better way. And, are we billionaires by our mid-30s? Probably not, like we planned. But you know what? We're doing good. We're doing good, guys. And even though the universe has felt in our soul that it has wronged us, I think these hurdles were put here to make us better. And maybe we still need some more work to see that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And here's the Four of Pentacles, or discs. This deck says disc, but I prefer pentacles. But the Four of Pentacles in reverse here is you letting go of something, trying to let go of something. And I think it is this fear of abandonment, this codependency, this attachment style that is very, unhealthy. Stop it. Talking to objects. That's weird. This attachment style that is not helpful. And I feel like we're doing a lot of inner work, a lot of shadow work here. And there's still a lot of fear around whatever it is. And maybe it's easier to look back and try to pinpoint what went wrong. But I think we also need to look forward and ask ourselves, what is it about our future that we're afraid of? because I see the devil here in the future position. So I feel like there is a fear around making the wrong decision again and again. I feel as if we're trying to get off this like cycle of fake leveling up. Well, it seems like fake leveling up, but it's not fake leveling up. It just feels like it because it's not drastic enough. And I think this is what we're trying to let go of, is the fear. I hope I make sense, guys. Prince of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so this reading is very Pentacle heavy and very major arcana. So this is very much related to the material world, very much related to our finances, careers. I'm not feeling a very emotional reading here for like a lover. Now, if you are in a relationship that is more out of financial security, this may be for you. But this, to me, this is not a love reading. I may ask for channel a love reading after this one, so I'll probably have another video out specifically for love readings. But I think I'm going to title this one like career and material reading. But the Prince of Discs in reverse is a fear here of, to me, it feels as if we've almost like, we're afraid of becoming, I don't want to say too old, but as we get older, you know, it's harder to change careers. It's harder to, you know, move out of one field to another successfully. Or I don't want to say successfully, but, you know, for example, I'm in the education field. I have, you know, advanced degrees that are education based. For me to make the same money in a different field would require me to go back to school and get a degree in, let's say, social work, or let's say public health or anything like that. I'm not willing to go back and redo an undergraduate degree and get another master's and have all this extra student loan debt. So I feel like that is a legitimate trap that, you know, maybe you are in a career choice or field that you may not necessarily, you know, find amusing or beneficial to you. But the reality of like going back to school and doing all this other stuff doesn't necessarily make sense. And do we have to love our jobs? I don't know. I don't think you have to love your job. I think there's a such thing as like a good life-work balance where you maybe don't love your job, but you don't come home and hate it. And I think that is, you know, I think this is a reading about being practical and living in the practicality of the world. In spirituality, there's so much like esoteric, fluffy, like, you know, go to love and love is everything. But that's true and all. But at the end of the day, we are stuck in this meat body and we have to live this human experience. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to live that human experience suffering and living in poverty and not having stability and structure in the resources, because I also feel like that's not what spirit wants me to do, because that's not what Rome is about. And we should not be living like the way that we live. Like, no one should be living paycheck to paycheck. There should be no, you know, kids starving of hunger and all this stupid crap that we have to live with in this world because of the way that the higher ups have structured stuff. But anyway, I feel like there is a true legitimate concern here about being stuck or tied into a position that no longer serves you, and trying to slowly come up with an exit strategy on like how to navigate these waters and how to get out of it. And I think that's legit. Like, that's a legit thing to be worried about at this time. Yeah, and like there's the Prince of Wands in reverse too, because there's just so much uncertainty surrounding our future right now. And this is not this may not be like the reading that you want to hear, but this is the reading that you need to hear. There is an action here that you need to be careful of. And I don't want you all to like freak out, but I feel like Spirit is telling me that it's important to not take too long, but also don't rush into something. Don't just jump ships too soon. Wait, give it time, let things play out. Allow yourself to King of Wands in reverse, Eight of Discs in reverse. You really don't like what you're doing right now. Whatever job you're doing, goddamn. I'm talking to you guys, but this is literally my reading coming out. And I know it's going to resonate with so many other people. I already know that. But whatever it is that you're doing, you are just finding yourself just not working well, not collaborating. You probably have some boss that is just annoying the piss out of you. This King of Wands in reverse here. This could be someone who is just super immature, almost like angry all the time. It could be you at work too. This sounds like me at work too. Very bossy, very demanding, just unhappy because I feel like I just cannot get people to work with me. And I just feel like my skills are no longer suiting me. I'm not growing in my career, and it's affecting me, right? And I feel like this could be a lot of people. You know, it's no coincidence that this full moon we just had the other day, drained the entire hell out of me. I was in bed at like 8 o'clock, and a lot of my coworkers, I talked to them, and I was like, I am so drained this week. I don't know what it is. And everyone's like, yeah, me too. Like, I'm just tired. We were eating lunch together the other day, and everyone just looked tired. It was Friday. Everyone was miserable. There was no happy Friday. There was none of that. It was just, okay, let's just get through the day. Like, oh my God, is it 3:30 yet? Type of energy. Like, that's how it was yesterday. It wasn't, and it was payday, and everybody was still like, meh. Like, that's how drained everyone at work has been. And like, it's just been a draining week for the collective, y'all. So if this resonates with you all, please, like, know that this reading is for you. This is a career and advice around finances reading. This is not a love reading. I just want to put that disclaimer out. If you can make it out of a love reading, then good for you. I am going to do a separate reading specifically where I channel for love. But all right, so living, y'all, I'm having the hardest time shuffling this deck. I don't know what's going on. I think my energy is also tired today. But I felt very compelled to give y'all this reading, so I'm going to continue. So before we get off here, I know this has been kind of long, I want to do some advice, some more advice here. Give us a little more guidance from Spirit. Fuck. Y'all, when I say things just Nine of Wands. Okay, so Spirit is saying that we need to be not defensive, but maybe we need to limit who has access, boundaries. Thank you. Put up boundaries. We need to start putting up some boundaries with people, especially people at work. So my Libra rising is coming out because I like to talk about myself sometimes, just to help people relate. I have been on a I'm very unhappy at work campaign, and I want everybody to know that I am this close to putting in my resignation letter. And upon reflection, that may not have been the smartest thing to do, but in the moment, you know, when that King of Wands reverse energy, very angry, very abrupt, very not demure, I regret saying all these things because once the fire has been tamed and once things have calmed down and I go back to a 4 from a 10, it's like, damn, I really went off the deep end. You know what I mean? So Spirit is suggesting to like pull it back some. you know, pull it back some. Set some boundaries. You know, maybe just write that down in your little notebook when you get home. Or like sometimes, like I'll just make a Google Doc and like on my separate like Gmail, not my work account, and I'll just start like, I'm so effing sick of these people and this and this, or write it on a note card and throw it away, rip it up and throw it away. But there's need some boundaries that need to be set between you and maybe the people around you, because some people are cool at work because they work with you and they just want things to be cool. For real, once you don't work together, them people don't give a F about you. They're not sitting at home worried about, you know, I wonder what Eric is doing. I hope he's okay. Did he grade all those papers? They don't worry about you. They have their own family. And like, I'm not worried about them. As much as I love my work family, I'm not, you know, I may send, you know, Merry Christmas and, you know, nice things like that, but, you know, everyone has their own shit. So set up some boundaries with people at work. Don't tell all your business to everybody at work. And I'm also not one of the people who are like, your coworkers are not your friends. Some of my coworkers are like, we're closer than siblings and family members. And I love my siblings and my family members. But there is just some people who I think God put in my career path so they could be part of my family in the future life. I'm dead ass about that one. The Emperor in reverse over the Magician and the Justice cards. So yes, very major arcana here. Y'all have been battling toxic bosses, maniacal, narcissistic dicks at work. This is the boss who don't know what the hell they're doing, but they just want to yap and blather about. And you're probably someone who is quietly competent, like myself. You know, I don't even say quiet, because I will speak my mind. I definitely will speak my mind. You know, this King of Swords energy in reverse. I will definitely say what I need to say. I don't always say it in the best way, but there is someone here, there has been someone here, and this person is looking at you. I think you may have pissed off the boss you don't like. But I'm also hearing, fuck that bitch. So, yeah. Yeah, and the Sun in reverse over the Nine of Pentacles, there is this sense of draining. Like I said, the Sun in reverse, the Sun is about vitality, health, life, happiness, and all that good stuff, right? Right now, you could be in a little season of a little, you know, it is getting a little darky poo early. Sometimes people get that seasonal affective disorder. I'm a self-diagnosed seasonal affective disorder person. And I think that is, this is tied to the psyche. All these eyes in the pyramids, this is very much like the third eye psyche mindset of the collective here is in this like mental fog phase is what I'm hearing and feeling is like a mental fog, a haze, a disconnect, just a lacking of energy. And it's like the people around us are draining us, which is why we need to set up boundaries. And like this narcissistic, egotistical, maniac, low vibrational Emperor in reverse, like lacking confident, non-leadering leader is looking at you because I feel like they I want to know more about this Emperor, because now I'm feeling triggered to this. Oh yeah, baby. This Emperor in reverse is someone who is lacking in a lot of communication skills. And this person, yeah, they see you as someone who is very reliable, the Chariot and the Six of Pentacles. But this person themselves, they don't have the communication skills that they should have. And they feel very like dramatic. And they can be like their life is in like utter chaos. Or they see you as this person and they think that they is this person. But you are this bitch and they is this bitch. So they want to be like you, but this is how they showing up. But they want to be like you. They want to be this Chariot and this discs. This is someone who gives equal give and take. This is someone here who is very charismatic, someone here who knows how to the Chariot, victory, successful. So this is someone here, and you could have a very balanced, like, I won't say black and white thinking, but you know, you could be someone who's very good at compartmentalizing, meaning like you know how to leave home problems at home, and you know how to focus on work at work and leave work at work and not take work home. But also you do understand that people are fluid, and sometimes it bleeds out, and that's okay, and that's fine. And like, we have to have that good balance. Sometimes I have to call my doctor's office at work, and you know, I'm in the middle of teaching, but when the doctor office calls and I need to refill my prescription, y'all don't have to wait a minute. Excuse me, yes, this is he. Yeah, I could be there at 3:30. Yeah, I could pick up the prescription. Yeah, I'll come and pick him up. Nah, yeah, don't deliver, I'll pick him up. Sorry, y'all. 2-minute phone call, not even. That's normal. Is that professional all the time? I mean, who the fuck cares? Now, this person right here, this person is a fucking dumpster fire. They suck at communication, and they really don't have any solid ideas. And here's that eye again at the hilt of the sword. I feel like this person's conscious is just not there, or they're all over the place. We have air, 3 stripes here. This person is someone who, I feel like they mean well. The Queen of Wands in reverse isn't someone who is like malicious. There's just someone who is just insecure, maybe a little petty, someone who they put the cart in front of the horse. They don't do things in a practical manner. This is someone who doesn't really take the time to think things out all the way through. They just start doing things. And then this could be a boss that you have. Sorry. I've been really getting into these like little segues, haven't I, y'all? And I hope y'all like how I do this tarot reading. I just, you know what? It's going to resonate with people. All right. So the advice is to, I think, also turn inwards a little bit. If you are feeling sad and like you're feeling a little gloomy, that's fine. That's okay. And that's normal. And like, don't try to hide it. Don't try to mask it. I think we need to stop always being the strong friend all the goddamn time. 7 of Swords. So Spirit is also saying, don't show all your cards. Kind of going back to the wand here with the setting boundaries. Strategic leaving, strategically getting yourself unstuck out of a situation, right? So it's over the Devil and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So to me, you have to use cunning. You have to use cleverness. You have to use some, you know, finessing. Because I feel like, collective, y'all, you know how to play the game almost too good, because you know that the game is BS. And that's why you don't want to play it, because you know it's a bunch of BS, but you know how to play it, right? And I think we need to play the game to our advantage, because we've been very good at letting this Emperor in reverse think that they run shit, but in reality, they ain't ran nothing. They just been getting a check for it. And I think it's time for you to use your cunning to unstuck yourself from this situation. Last but not least is the World in reverse. Oh God, this came up from my personal reading last night. So this is a sign from the universe that your cycle here, this is not the end. And what I mean by this is not the end, I mean like this is not the highest that you are going to be. All right, wherever you're experiencing in your career, this is not the top. This is not the zenith of your ability. You are meant for so much more. You have a higher purpose You have a higher purpose. We have a higher purpose. And it involves us loving on each other. And it involves us helping each other. And it involves us freeing one another from this fucking matrix of bullshit that is this fucking planet. I can cuss now. It's way over the time. But I ain't even monetized to begin with. So, y'all, this is what this reading is about. We have to unstick ourselves and just know that, like, wherever you are, this is not your final destination. All right. I love you guys. Drink water, be safe, and peace.